Hello everybody, my name is Joe Carter and today I'm going to be demonstrating my new war game titled Silent Service. This is a solitaire game and it simulates the United States Navy World War II campaign against the Imperial Japanese Navy ships in the Pacific, the South Pacific, and Southeast Asia. So this is the second game in the series. The first game is titled Iron Coffins, and it's been fairly popular so far, which I'm happy about. So Silent Service is based on the same basic game engine, and if you've played the first one, then picking this up will be very easy. It's very many similarities. So let's see. This is still undergoing playtesting, so it's not available yet on Wargame Vault. I'm hoping that it will be available as print and play within a few weeks or so, if everything goes well. So what I'm going to be doing is just explaining the components, and then I will perform one patrol to demonstrate the flow of the game and the basics. So first, we're going to I'm going to explain the game mats. All of the game mats can be printed out as A4 or 8.5 by 11. So they're all very small. There are a few optional mats that can be used. For those of you with a smaller table, you can just use the sheets that are included instead of the ship damage mats. So let's see. First, I'm going to just one second. Let me turn this off. Okay. First, I'm going to go ahead and go through the mats. I'm already playing the campaign right now, but I'll just go ahead and go. Some of these are cut off, like the sub-depth mats are cut off. I'll show you these when I get to them. You can't see them in the camera shot right now. So first, let me explain that the game will, the base game will probably, I haven't decided yet for sure, but the base game will probably include the Salmon class sub and the Gato, or Gato, I guess it's called Gato class sub. And then there will be, that will be based in Fremantle, Australia for the base game. And then the expansion will be based in, the subs will be based in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. So, but the base game for Fremantle will include, probably include 2 subs. Like I said, I haven't decided yet. I'm probably only going to use one set of tables for those 2 subs, but I'm not sure yet. So this is the, let me go ahead and just start explaining. I'm going to try to keep this video under an hour if possible. This is the sub mat, and here we have, I'll just go through and explain everything. This covers weather, torpedoes, how many torpedoes, and the targets. So here we have good weather, poor, bad, foggy. I left foggy on there. It's probably not going to be used for the Fremantle tables, but I just left it on there anyway, because there's also going to be another expansion for the S-class boat, and that will have foggy weather. So I'm going to just leave it on there. We won't be using it unless you want to do your own, I don't know, house rule for something or whatever, but I'm going to just leave it on there. Okay, and then we have day and night for time. We have water depth, we have shallow and deep, and we have sub-attack depth, which the depth to which you attack is surfaced and submerged. Sub-attack range, close, medium, long. And then the difference between this silent service and Iron Coffins, the German U-boat game, the other game, is there are only a maximum of 2 enemy ships that can be encountered, because they most of the ships were just solitary cargo ships, and they didn't do much of a convoy system, the Japanese Navy. So the maximum, usually you're going to be encountering ships that are not escorted, but sometimes they'll be escorted, and if they're escorted, there will only be a maximum of 2 ships. So, and sometimes you'll actually find two ships together that are unescorted, but not very often. So we have the ships. Okay, first we have escort type, and then skill level, and then this is where you put the torpedoes when you are targeting, and per ship. And then, but you, in this, same as with Iron Coffins, you cannot, I didn't include rules to attack escorts. I know some of the US sub commanders did attack, not many, according to what I've read, but some did once in a while, not very often. So I did just go ahead and leave this on here, that you can put the torpedoes for the escort if you can do your own house rule, but it's not included in the tables. So, and then here we have ship 1, ship 2, and then the ship skill level, and then the torpedo boxes. And then we have patrol aircraft, and then the skill level. Down here we have the bow torpedo tubes, stern torpedo tubes, and then we have the bow reserve torpedoes, 12 maximum, stern reserve torpedoes, 4 maximum, and then here we have the deck gun ammo, 12 units maximum. You can fire 1 per combat round if you're on the surface and there's no escorts. And okay, so that's that. And let me show you, since we're already doing those, these are the Gato is on the back of this one. I don't want to flip it over, but I'll show you these. This is the Balao. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this will be an expansion. It's basically the same as the Gato, but I just went ahead and did the different image and the name. And everything else is the same as the Gato. And then here's the S-Class. Fewer torpedo tubes, and then some of them did have 1 stern torpedo tube, so I did include it in this. It will be included in the expansion. And the S-Class boats were very unreliable, so this expansion would be very good for players who are looking for an extra challenge, because it will be quite a bit more difficult than the other subs. Okay, let's go ahead and go to, this is the sub status mat, or damage mat, whatever you want to call it. And then here we have repairing, yes, no, flood damage control, yes, no, drain pump, on or off, and silent running, yes or no. Now, if you're doing repairing or flood damage control, or the drain pump is on, you cannot do silent running because of the noise. So you're going to have to choose what you want to do. If you choose to do silent running and you have hull damage here, then it's going to automatically, the flooding level is going to increase because the drain pump is turned off. And that's the choice you're going to have to make. If you're going to let the flooding level rise to try to lose contact with the enemy escort when you're being depth charged, you can do that, but it is risky because the more flooding you have, the more the sub will sink down because due to the weight. Okay, so here we have damage boxes. We have hull damage, systems damage, flooding level, and then crew wounds. If you have, like I said, the more hull damage you have, the more the chances of flooding level increases, and then the less depth you can dive to safely, there's more risk of the hull collapsing, the sub being crushed, the more hull damage you have. And systems damage, we have notes here. If you have 2 to 3 systems damage, the sub automatically sinks 1 depth level. And then if it has 4 or 5, it automatically sinks 2 depth levels per combat round. So you're going to sink very quickly. It cannot maintain depth. And we have flooding level. It's the same. The more flooding you have, the more the sub sinks per combat round. And if you're, we have the crew. All of these things affect, like for example, the crew wound points affect different situations in the game, like repairing systems damage or flood damage control or other things. So let's go over here, compressed air. Now compressed air is used to make the boat ascend, to go up from deeper to shallow. It's basically blowing the water out of the tanks, and so it can surface. Now, if you have, like for example, if you have systems 3, let's say 4 systems damage, that would sink 2 levels automatically. Okay, let me show you this real quick. This is a sub-depth map for the salmon. And you would sink 2, but you could compensate by blowing out, using 2 compressed air units and blowing out to maintain your same depth. But if you keep doing that, eventually you're not going to have enough to surface, and then you're dead. So you have to be careful about that. So I'll get to the depth maps shortly. And then we have oxygen. If the oxygen, each combat round, it's going to use 1 oxygen unit. And if it gets down to 0, then the crew health starts to drop. And if it drops down to D, to note D, number 5 box, and it's at 0, then the crew's dead. All the crew's dead, and the game ends. The sub is lost. So you have to be careful about that too. So let's go to the sub depth mats. We have 2 different mats. We have shallow and deep. This is used for the depth, the sub's current depth. You put them in the boxes, and then the maximum depth for shallow water is 4 boxes. At number 4, that's on the seabed. You're actually resting the sub on the seabed, and it's no longer moving. And we have the different seabed compositions. You only know the seabed composition once you touch down on the seabed. And there's a chance, if it's rocky composition, like rocks, there's a chance you're going to damage the sub by setting down on the sharp rocks or the large rocks. And then sand, there's no effect. And if it's muddy, you might get stuck in the mud and be hard to break free from the mud. So you have to be careful. I don't recommend landing on the seabed every time you're being depth charged if it's shallow water, because it's very risky. There's a less chance of being detected once you do set down on the seabed, but like I said, there's a chance of damage or getting stuck. So you have to think about that when you're trying to decide. Okay, and that was the shallow one. There are 2 depths in the game. There are shallow and deep. Each zone, these are transits or patrol zones. You have to look at the table to see what the depth level is. So here's deep. Each subclass has a different depth level. For example, this is the salmon. Salmon class is the sub you start out with in the game, in the base game, and then these are just the basic rules. These are also in the tables book. It's just like a convenient reminder. And then this is surfaced, and then you go deeper, shallow, deep, below test depth. So for the salmon, the maximum safe depth level with no hull damage is depth level 6. So there's a nice little counter I included with the game. You can put it here as a reminder. And the more hull damage you have, for example, if you have 2 hull damage for the salmon, the maximum safe depth level is 4. Now you can go ahead and go below. Let's say you have no damage, but you're being depth charged. So you're like, I'm going to go deeper to try. The deeper you go, the less chance of being detected, and then you can escape. Let's say you go below test depth. So you're going to roll each combat round to see if you sustain any extra hull damage. Now, if you already have hull damage and you go down 3 below the safe depth level, you're going to have a +3 modifier for extra hull damage. So you have to be very careful. Okay. That's why it's always best to abort mission if you sustain hull damage, if you can, because it seriously affects the chances of survival. Okay, let's see. I think I covered that. And then this is the hits. Every time you get hit, this is just a convenient way to track how many hits you have to roll for if the depth charges or aircraft attack. Okay, let's see. And for the aircraft, there are 4 types of aircraft you can encounter. We have a A6M2N. It's like a 0 float plane version. And we have a G4M. That's like a medium bomber. And they have this H6K patrol and then an H8K patrol aircraft. So each one has a different level of attack ability. And some are easier to shoot down, others are more difficult. So let's see. Let's go ahead and go up here. This is the zone mat, and each patrol area has its own boxes. Certain patrol areas take longer to reach. For example, this is Java Sea patrol area. There are always 8 patrol boxes, whichever the area, but Java Sea is closer to Fremantle, Australia, so you only have 1 transit box. So for example, you're going to transit and then each turn, and then you're going to patrol each box once per turn and roll for enemy aircraft or escort encounters and convoy encounters or ship encounters. And then you patrol through them all, and then you go back to the transit, heading back to base, and then there's a Fremantle base. Now, if you're here, let's say you're in patrol zone 2 and you sustain heavy damage, you can backtrack. You don't have to go all the way through in there. You can go like this and then go back to base, so that's no problem. Okay, and then these are the optional mats. Okay. Let's see, these are used to track ship damage. Like I said, there are some other sheets that you can use with a whiteboard marker, and you can just mark off the boxes. But this is for if you want to use these little American flag counters. Like I said, these are optional. They do take up more table space, but there are only 2 ship, regular cargo ship or tanker, a maximum when encountering ships in this game, like not warships, but like I said, cargo or tanker ships. So you would only need 1 mat, but for the warships you do need 2 mats if there are 2 warships. So here we have tons. You can just put it whichever one it is. This has all three sizes of ships, small, S and L, small, medium, large, and this is the tons. And all the tonnages are randomized. There are 12 different possible tonnages per ship size. So there are 3 ship sizes, so there are 36 different possible tonnages. So it's quite a bit. And then here we have systems damage. If you reach 10, the ship is disabled and it can no longer move. Anything over 10 ship systems damage becomes flooding damage. Here we have flooding damage, and this is where the ships are sunk, depending on the size. Sampan, small ship, medium ship, and large ship. And this is ship number 2, so it's the same thing. Okay, and here we have warships. This is warship 2. We have different types of warships. We have subchaser. Now, like I said, you cannot attack the destroyers or subchasers in this game. Those are the escorts. But I did include them on here in case any of you want to do your own house rules to attack them. But we have subchaser. These are the tonnages. Submarine. Sometimes you will encounter a Japanese submarine as a random event. Destroyer, light cruiser, light aircraft carrier, heavy cruiser, aircraft carrier. Oh, I did too. Wonder what happened there. Aircraft carrier, CV. Okay. I think I made a mistake here. I'm going to have to fix that. Battleship, and then Yamato battleship. So the Yamato battleship's huge, of course. And it'll have to be, you have to take a lot of torpedoes if you're lucky enough to sink it, which is unlikely. And then here we have which ships are disabled. Okay, and here we have the flooding, and this is where they're sunk, the different classes of ships. And Yamato is 38 boxes, so that's going to be very difficult to sink. You'll be very lucky if you can sink that. Okay, let's see. I think that's just about everything. Let's see here. This game does play fairly differently compared to Iron Coffins. It is less difficult, which is historically correct. The game isn't easy, but you have a much better chance of survival. I think the U.S. Navy suffered about a 20% loss rate for their subs during World War II, and that's a lot. But the German Kriegsmarine, I believe they suffered 75% loss rate. I think. I'm pretty sure it's 75. So it's quite a bit of difference, but you can still be sunk. Trust me, when last night I was playing my campaign game and we went on a patrol in I believe it was the China Sea. And the entire China Sea is shallow water. So we encountered just a random elite destroyer. He tracked us down. No convoy, no ships, nothing. Just he found us and attacked. And we were held down for a long time. We didn't sustain any damage. Well, a little bit. But we almost ran out of oxygen. We were down to like 1 box of oxygen remaining, and we would have had to start suffering crew injuries. And we do. Okay, let me. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's one more mat I want to show you. I can't explain until I show you this. This is the skills, crew skills mat, and the commander mat. So in the game, you have crew skills, the same as in Iron Coffins. We have the different skills here: the command skill, deck gun skill, flak guns, flood damage control, hydrophones, medic, radar, repair, TDC, and the watch skill. Okay, TDC is torpedo data computer. That was used to calculate the angles and trajectories of torpedo attacks. So it helped with the trigonometry, I guess. So, and then here we have reserved BPs. BPs are bonus points. They are used to purchase crew skills and inventory. Okay, let me go up here. We have spare parts units. These are used to repair systems damage while at sea. Only systems damage. Okay. Medical supplies are used to heal or to help recover the crew injuries while at sea. The fate units allow you to re-roll one time per counter per unit on any table. Okay. Now, hull damage cannot be repaired at sea ever. So you have to be very careful if you start to sustain hull damage. It's strongly recommended that you return to base. If you sustain, I would say, more than 2 or more, I would immediately head back to base. It's too risky. Okay, so the crew skills help during different situations. For example, the flood damage control skill, of course, gives you a better chance of controlling flooding or reducing flooding down to 0. Okay, so here we have the commander medals. And oh yeah, for the inventory, you can only have a maximum of 5 units each. Okay, and you do have to purchase these. Each one costs 1 bonus point, these two. And then fate, each one costs 5 bonus points. Now to earn bonus points, you earn bonus points by sinking, for example, warships or like a tanker. Let me show you real quick here. It's easier just to show you. For example, these are the bonus points you can earn. So per 2,000 ship ton sunk, you earn 1 bonus point. Okay. And then this game does have special missions. For example, here's the commander status. If the commander gets wounded, you're going to put a wound counter. For example, say he receives 4 wounds. That's very bad. Okay, you're going to put that wound counter there. Now here we have passengers and cargo. There are 3 different types of well, let me see. I would say there are 4 different types of special missions. So a special mission is something you have to complete that it doesn't happen very often. So the special missions are insertion of a commando team or a coast watcher, or extraction of a commando team or a coast watcher. And also there's a supply mission where you drop off supplies to a location. And then the last type of mission is it's a lifeguard mission, lifeguard duty, where you have to basically spend time in the patrol zones just on standby, waiting to pick up downed U.S. airmen, like a fighter pilots or maybe a bomber crewmen. So the special missions are quite dangerous. There's an increased chance of enemy encounters, so you have to really be careful when you're doing that. But once you do complete the special mission, you can continue with the regular patrol. Special missions always take place in Patrol Zone 1. And lifeguard duty takes place in all of the patrol zones. So for example, if you have you're going to drop off, here's a commando team, okay? You're going to put the commando team, before you leave base, you're going to put them here. And they can be wounded, For example, if the commando team gets wounded before you drop them off, like during the transit, you're attacked, for example. The chances are not they're not very high that they're going to be wounded. But let's just say, for example, you're going to put the wound counter like that, and then they won't be able to be dropped off. The mission will have to be aborted, and the mission will fail. So, and this is a Coast Watcher, Australian Coast Watcher. Okay, and then here's the supplies counter. You would put the supplies here also for cargo. Okay. Sometimes you have to drop that off, and that would be in zone 1 also. So, for example, if you have a supply mission, have these convenient little counters, you're going to just put it in zone 1. And once you drop off the supplies, you remove the counter, and then you can continue with patrol, starting with zone 2. Okay. And remember, you can abort mission at any time. And then here's the downed airmen. There are 5, maximum of 5. If you pick up 5, then you can continue before you finish the 8 patrol zones. You can do regular patrol, but you cannot attack ships during the lifeguard duty mission. But if you pick up airmen, you're gonna put them in these boxes, and then sometimes they'll be wounded. So, like I said, there can be a maximum of 5. Okay, so I think that's it. And yeah, we're doing pretty good here. About 20 minutes into the video. This is a tables-based game. Let me show you this first. This is the patrol log. My name of my salmon class sub is USS Shark. And I know the Shark was a porpoise class sub, but I just randomized the name. I just chose Shark because salmon and shark, that's kind of cool. So, and then here we are based in Fremantle. I didn't mark that off there. And then my commander's name is Thomas Boyd, and he started in June 1942. That's the earliest date you can start for the Fremantle base game. Now, the Pearl Harbor expansion will, of course, you can start in, in December 1941. So we have completed 3 patrols, and we did pretty good. We were heavily damaged on the second patrol. We suffered very heavy hull damage, and we almost didn't make it. We almost bought the farm. And so on our first patrol, we sank 4,500 tons, 1 medium cargo ship in the Java Sea. That was June of 42. The second patrol in around September to October, we sank 1 tanker, small tanker, and 1 small cargo ship for 6,500 tons. And then in January to February 43, we did really good. We sank 4 small cargo ships, and we also shot down an H-6K patrol aircraft. But we did suffer, actually it was Patrol 3. Yeah, Patrol 3, we suffered very heavy, it was Patrol 3. We suffered very heavy damage from an attack, but he was actually shot down, so we were very lucky. And so total so far, we've sunk 25,500 tons. Now, the maximum number of patrols you can perform per commander is 5. Okay, I wanted to limit. I know a few U.S. Sub-commanders did do more patrols than 5, but a lot of them did only 2 or 3. So I tried to average out to an historical average of 5. So I think that's fairly realistic. Okay, so I believe that's everything. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything. Oh yeah, I also included these counters. These are optional. These are just number counters that you can use. Now, a lot of people these are in plastic holders. You can laminate them also. A lot of people will just want to use a dry erase marker because there are a lot of these. There are, I don't know, maybe 75 of these. Like I said, these are optional. Okay, so far we have earned a Legion of Merit medal, no Purple Hearts, and no other medals. So we're doing fairly well so far. I think anything else, I don't think. Let me, just 1 second. Okay, I have to turn the heater on in there. This small heater is too loud. Okay, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, this is a tables-based game. And this is the salmon. I said salmon, that's probably going to cover both subs. Let's see. There are 14 pages of tables, which is not a lot, in my opinion, but very simple. You just follow through alphabetical numerical order usually. You do skip around some, but it's very simple to follow. Most of the rules are integrated into the tables as notes, so you don't have to memorize anything, which is kind of cool because this is a fairly detailed game. It's not a simulation, so please don't expect hyper realism, because I wanted to make it playable and fun. But like I said, it's just very simple. Like here, you're going to be using mostly just these two tables until you have an encounter. And that's it. There's not that much table flipping. There is some page flipping, but not a lot. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and perform one more patrol. This time it's the Philippines, and the date is July 1943. And our commander, our commander can perform this patrol and one more patrol, and then he's going to be sent back to the U.S. As a training at a U.S. sub base as a training commander. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to, we're all set up for the Philippines. Okay, and this game requires 2d10 dice, 1d20, and a 1d12. Okay, that's all you need. And I hope you all have those dice because they're fairly common dice for wargaming. So let's see. I think we're gonna go ahead and begin. Okay, I'm gonna show you these tables just one time each, and then I'm gonna just read it off after that. Okay, we go ahead and go. We already did this for the setup, so no problem. We already got our patrol assignment. This is where you roll each time after returning to base, and the refit is complete. Refit is a minimum of 1 month. So we rolled for, these are the years, July 43, so we rolled Philippines 9 or 10. And there are no special missions for the Philippines. So, okay, we go over here. We're going to move A1, we're going to move the sub into the first transit zone. And we're going to go to A2. We're going to roll for weather. And the date is July, so there's a +2 modifier for bad weather. 16, 18. Okay, we got poor weather, so we're gonna move this little flag counter to poor. We're not gonna worry about these until we have an encounter. Okay, you don't worry about those right now. Okay, we're going to go to note B, we're going to go to table B1, and we're going to check for any aircraft or escort encounter. Now you roll for these in every box, whether it's a transit or patrol box. When you're in a patrol zone box, there's a greater chance of an encounter, enemy encounter. Okay, we rolled an 8, no encounter. Now, we're going to also roll for enemy convoy encounter, and there's a less chance of an enemy convoy encounter in a transit zone. Okay, we got a 7, we got a 5, 6, 7, 8, nothing. Okay, we go into the next transit zone and we repeat. Oh, okay, I forgot one thing. I forgot to roll for random event, 8, 3. We skipped that, just went right past it. Okay, nothing. There's about a 5% chance per turn of a random event occurring. So it doesn't happen very often. Maybe a few times per campaign. You certainly won't have a random event each patrol. Rarely will you. Okay, we went into the next transit zone. We're going to roll for weather. 5. Okay, with modifiers, it drops back down to good weather. And we're going to roll for random event. 25, nothing. We're going to go to table B1. We're going to roll for random enemy aircraft or escort encounter. Okay, nothing. And we're going to roll for enemy convoy encounter, B2. Okay, we rolled a 9. And it's a 7. The -2 transit zone modifier. But we have +1 modifier for 5 watch skill points. Watch, we have 5. So we get a +1 modifier. And then for radar, if we have 5, we get another +1. And then for hydrophones, if we have 5, we get another +1. So we have +3, and a 9, -2, 7, and then +3 is a 10. So we do have an encounter. We're going to go ahead and go down here. This is the convoy setup. You're going to see what type of ships. Now, warships, you're not going to encounter that often. You can encounter all different types of warships, but it's not going to happen very often. So we're going to go ahead and go to note A and see what type of convoy it is. Okay, we rolled a 5. That's a 1 ship, no escort. So we're going to go down to note C. We're going to roll 1d20 to see what type of ship it is. Okay, a medium cargo ship. We're going to go down to F for medium cargo ship. We're going to roll a 1d12 to see how many tons it is. We rolled a 6. We're going to take our little counter here. Let me show you here. It's just out of the camera shot. So we're going to roll, we rolled a 6, so we're going to put that there. 5,500 tons. That's a pretty good sized ship. We're going to find our cargo, M cargo, medium cargo ship counter. There it is. All the enemy ship counters and aircraft counters are red tinted. So we're going to put it here. Now, we're going to go down to note note H for the skill level of the cargo ship. Okay, we rolled a 6, so that is average. We're going to take our average skill counter. We're going to put it here, ship 1. Okay, and we're going to go down to note I for day or night, and we rolled a 10, which is night. Now, if you want to switch to day or night, you can roll, and then there's a chance you'll lose contact, but you can choose day or night. So, okay, we're going to go down here for water depth. Now, sometimes you're going to have to roll, other times you're not. Philippines, there's a 50% chance in the patrol zone of shallow or deep. So we're going to roll. Okay, we rolled 6 is deep. Now, it's really not relevant unless we have an enemy escort show up. Okay. Now, if there are no escorts, we're going to always attack on the surface. If it's escorted, you're going to fire your torpedoes and then dive, and then you're going to just hope that you don't get sustain heavy damage. So we're going to go ahead and go to, we know the water is deep in this area. We're going to go ahead and go to C1. Now we can use a deck gun attack first. You can use them both during the same combat round. I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and do just a torpedo attack. Now you can choose on C2. You can choose how many torpedoes you're going to fire per combat round. We have a total of 8 we can fire. I'm going to go ahead and do 4. Now the dud rate is very high as it was historically. There's about 50% chance dud rate. Now if we roll a hit and we roll for damage and it's a 1, then it's a miss and a circular runner, which means the torpedo circles around and it might hit your sub. So you have to be very careful about that. The torpedoes do become more reliable starting in July of 40, let me see, yeah, July of 44. Yeah, July 44. I think it's July 44. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and roll to see if the torpedoes hit. We're going to do each roll for each torpedo. So we launched our torpedoes, and now we're going to see if they hit. Okay, our first one is a 2. I can guarantee that's a miss. Put it over here. Next torpedo, a 10. Okay, that's a hit. Probable hit. So we rolled a 10. It's an automatic hit, unmodified hit. We're going to go down here for the year. It's a cargo 42, 43. We're going to roll to see if it's a miss, a circular runner, if it detonates, or if it's a critical hit and massive explosion. So we rolled a 5 and no detonation, dud torpedo, or it just missed. Okay, those defective torpedoes. I wonder if anybody at the torpedo directorate knows what's going on, because we're having a lot of duds and misses. Okay, we rolled an 8, which is, oh yeah, we didn't set our attack. Okay, we always attack at close range and surfaced, and the water is deep. So there we go. And that was an 8, so that's a probable hit. And we rolled a 10. Okay, 10 is a critical hit. So for a critical hit, we're going to roll a 2d20. 1 for systems and 1 for flooding. There's a good chance we're going to sink them. Okay, we rolled 2 systems and 10 flooding. So we're going to take this. I'm just going to put this over here so you can see it. Okay, we got 2 systems. This is ship number 1. 2 systems. 10 flooding. Yeah, he's sunk. Okay, that was a 10, right? Yeah, that's a medium. Okay, he's sunk. So 10 is his medium ship. So boom, he's gone. He went down. Now the other torpedoes were launched. The last one, so it's an automatic miss. You can't say, oh, never mind, I'm going to put that torpedo back in the tube. No, you can't do that. You have to put them all, anytime they're put in these boxes, that means they're launched. And even if the ship is sunk, these torpedoes are lost. So, okay, that's lost. Now we're going to have to go to table. Each combat round, there's a chance that an enemy ship or an enemy escort or aircraft will show up. There's only a 10% chance, but it does happen. And we rolled a 10. Okay. So let's see if aircraft or escort shows up. Okay, we rolled 1, which is an enemy aircraft. We're going to go to table B1, notes A to C. So a little bit of flipping around, not much. We're going to roll to see what type of aircraft. Okay, we rolled a 4, a G4M, and the skill is average, and the time was night. Okay, we're not going to roll for time. We already know the time. Okay, G4M. Okay, he's sunk. And he's average. We're going to just take that. We're going to go ahead and mark this down first before we do the air combat. We're going to write M cargo for medium cargo. And that was what did I say with the tons? It was a 9. What was that? That was, okay, it was a 6 actually. 5,500 tons. We got lucky because our last patrol, we wasted a whole bunch of torpedoes on one small cargo ship. I think we launched like 7 or 8 torpedoes to sink one cargo ship. It was ridiculous. So, okay. And we'll remove him. He's sunk. And the enemy aircraft showed up. And we're going to go ahead and go to... I'm going to flip over here to table D1. He's attacking. They always attack first. We're going to roll 1d20. Okay, we rolled a 12. These are the modifiers, night. And we have a per watch SP. We have 5 watch skill points. SP is skill point. -5, -7. And it's a 12, so yeah, it's a total miss. Now we're going to fire our guns. Many things are abstracted in this game. For example, all of the... I might add one modifier for the Balau and the Gato for the AA guns. Probably a +1, I'm not sure. But many things are abstracted in this game to streamline gameplay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to roll on D2 to see if we're going to hit them. We can roll 1 time. We rolled a 3, -2, night modifier is a 1, and we have good weather, so no modifier. And then we have +5 flak SPs, so that's a 6. That's a miss, total miss. Okay, now no, actually, I mean, okay. Never mind. If it's a miss, you automatically crash dive. Now you could, I mean, if you want, you could stay on the surface and fight it out, but I don't think the U.S. sub-commanders usually did that. I know the German U-boat commanders were ordered to do that for a short time. And the results were just disastrous. But if it's a miss, you automatically crash dive. And but if it's a hit, you stay on the surface, and then you can fire AA guns, and then you have to roll again to see if you crash dive or if the aircraft leaves or whatever. So, okay, the encounter ends. Let's put this here. All right. Okay, this is running too long here. I'm gonna speed things up here. Okay, let's see. Okay, that turn is ended. So we're gonna move this out of the way. Okay, we're gonna go into the next patrol zone. And we're going to go ahead and roll for weather. Okay, good weather. And we're going to roll for random event. 84, nothing. We're going to roll for enemy encounter, random encounter. Okay, we got a 17, 18, 19, 20. Uh-oh, we encountered an enemy escort ship found us. Okay, no convoy, just an enemy escort ship. Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll for the type of ship. If it's a sub chaser or destroyer, it's a destroyer. We're going to roll for the skill. Okay, uh-oh, it's elite. I'm having some bad luck with elite. Okay, and the time is night. Okay, this is not good. Okay. Elite, we're going to put our DD destroyer counter here. And I keep rolling elites for some... There's only a 10% chance of elite crew skill. I don't know. Last patrol, I also encountered an elite destroyer. Okay, let's see. And it's nighttime. Okay, weather's good. Okay, we have to roll for water depth on table B3. Okay, uh-oh, it's shallow. That's not good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this shallow mat here. Okay, we don't know the seabed composition until we set down on the seabed. So we're currently at depth level 0. And safe depth level is still 6, but we can't dive down to 6, so we'll just put it here. We can go deeper, but the water's not that deep. Okay, now he found us, so we're going to go ahead and go to table B4, note 3, to see how far we dove, basically how soon we spotted him with our radar or lookouts. And all the modifiers and stuff. It's nighttime, we got a -3. And okay, +2. Okay. Plus we get a +1 per watch SP. So we rolled a 2. Okay, the maximum we could dive before he reached us is 3. And then we're gonna do a minus. Let's see. Yeah. No, actually it's 7 to 9. Okay. 2 and oxygen 10. The deepest we could dive was 2 before he reached us. And then oxygen level 10. We used 2 oxygen units already. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and roll for detection. We're going to jump over to table E9. This is a detection table because he knows we're there. So we're going to automatically roll for detection. See if his sonar or listening gear pinpoints us. We're going to roll a 1d10. Okay, we rolled a 5. I can tell you right now that we're automatically detected. We're going to go over here. He's going to drop his depth charges on table E10. This is the first combat round. There's no limit to how many combat rounds you can perform except when you run out of oxygen or you're sunk or when contact is lost. That's when it ends. Okay, we're going to roll a 1d20. Okay, we rolled a 19. That's not good. Okay, and then the depth, we have -2 for modifier. We're not silent running yet. You can't do silent running during the first combat round. Only after the first one ends and then the second one begins. So we got -1 for 5 hydrophones, -1 for command, -1 for sub depth level. So that's a -4. But it's a destroyer, so that's a +1, so -3. 1943 +1, so it's only a -2 modifier. Yeah, he hit us totally. Okay, now we're going to roll to see how many hits we sustained. We're going to roll a 1d20. Oh, we rolled 20. I'm having some bad luck recently. Okay, we're going to put 5 hits. Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll to see if how much damage we sustain. We're going to roll down here. You do this for each hit. We're going to roll on notes A, B, C. So A is for hull damage. No hull damage. Rolled a 2. Okay, we're going to go down for systems damage sustained. 7, no systems. There's a 30% chance we're going to sustain damage or wounds to the crew. Okay, crew, nothing. Okay, good. Okay, one more hit. We're going to do it again. Oh, we rolled an 8. That is 1 hull damage, 1 hull DP damage point is DP. Sustain. That's not good. Okay. But we still have a maximum of 5 safe depth levels, so we're still okay there. We rolled a 4 for systems, no damage. Okay, let me roll that again. I dropped it. Rolled a 4 for crew. Crew is safe. Okay, we have 3 more hits remaining. 1, no hull damage, thankfully. 4, no systems. 7, no crew injuries. 9, oh no, hull damage. We suffered 1 more hull damage point. That was a close hit, maybe a direct hit. Okay, we rolled 4 for systems. We rolled 9 for crew status. We got a +1 crew WP as wound point. So the crew is a little bit shaken up, a little bit wounded. Okay, we got 1 more. We rolled a 4 for hull damage, nothing. 7 for systems damage, nothing. 4 for crew damage. Oh, I forgot. Okay, nothing for crew. And when you sustain crew damage or crew wounds, you have to go down to see who was wounded. Now we're going to roll 1d10 on table E10 note D. Okay, so we sustained 1 -1 hydrophone's SP permanently. That means basically maybe the radar guy or hydrophones guy was wounded. Okay, so this is permanent. This can't be replaced while at sea. Even if you have bonus reserve BPs, you cannot increase it. This can only be adjusted after you return to base. So we permanently lost 1 hydrophone skill point. Okay. All right. That's it. I think, yeah. So we're going to dive deeper. We can do a maximum of 1 controlled, means no flooding, of 1 depth level per combat round. Now, if you have flooding or systems, it's going to pull you down further per combat round unless you compensate with compressed air to remain at the same depth level. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and roll. We're going to see if we can remove the crew, improve the crew status to 0 again, means green maximum. So we're going to go ahead and you can do this at the beginning of each combat round. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, this is the first one. So we're going to go ahead and this tells you what you can do, how many the depth changes or whatever, and if you land on the seabed, where we haven't done that, we're probably not going to. I don't know though. This is an elite, so elite escort. Okay, we're going to do -1 oxygen. And we're going to go ahead and switch to silent running. And we're going to go ahead and attempt crew recovery. We're going to use 1 medical supplies. That requires 1 medical supplies unit per attempt. We rolled a 2, and we have a +1 medic SP skill point per, so that's +5. We rolled a 2, and so that's a 7. No crew wound points. Oh, we do have 1 crew wound point, so a 6. Successful. There's a 50% base chance of success or failure to remove the crew wounds. So we were successful. That's good. And we either way, even if you're not successful, you lose the medical supplies. The same with spare parts if you're trying to repair systems damage. Okay, we're going to do silent running, so we're not going to do flood damage control because we want to keep quiet. So the flooding is going to automatically increase by 1. Now, we're still safe. We're not going to have to use any compressed air to maintain depth. If the flooding gets very bad, or we sustain a lot of damage, we're going to set it down on the seabed, and hopefully we'll lose the destroyer. So we'll see. Okay, next combat round, we go ahead and do the same thing again. Okay, we did change the oxygen, and we're going to roll for sub detection on table E9. And we did skip repairs. We're not going to do systems repairs because there's no systems damage. We're now silent running, and we're going to roll for detection. The only way we're going to break detection, no, we'll have a +1 modifier if we do set it down on the seabed and do silent running also. So I think we're going to do that. Okay, we rolled a 4, and we're silent running. A 4 minus 3 is a -1, and then let's just do the minuses first, the negative modifiers. So -3, and then we're at depth level 3, so -6, plus a -1 per if 5 command skill points. So -7, -6. Wait a second, I calculated this wrong. Okay, so that's a 2. Yeah, we're detected, barely detected again. Actually, we almost broke contact. Okay, so he's going to drop his depth charges again. Let's hope he doesn't hit us. We rolled an 18. -3 for depth. 15 +1, 16, and then he's an elite, so +4. Oh, that's over 20. So he hit us again with his depth charges. We're kind of trapped because it is shallow depth, and it's more difficult to lose contact. Okay, we rolled a 15, so that's 3 hits. Okay, that was that. We're going to go out of here. Okay. Okay, if we're going to go ahead and do the same notes again, A, B, and C. Okay, hull damage, no hull damage. 6, no systems. 5, no crew wounds. Okay, one more hit. Hull, nothing. Crew, systems, nothing. Crew, nothing. Good. Okay, one more hit. Last one. Hull, nothing. 6 for systems, nothing. 1 for crew wounds, nothing. Good, we were very lucky. Okay. I think we are going to... Now, what we can do is we can set it down on the... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and drop down and hit the seabed. Now, we can let the flooding... We can keep silent running, let the flooding reach maximum, because here it says U-boat sinks +2 depth levels. We're on the seabed, so we don't have to worry about sinking any farther. Okay. The only thing we do have to worry about is if we sustain more hull damage and then the maximum safe depth level starts to decrease, then we're going to have to roll for additional hull damage. But we can let the flooding go maximum if we're on the seabed to keep silent running. So we're going to go ahead and try that. Okay, we're going to see what the seabed composition is. So we're going to go ahead and go to, we're going to go ahead and do -1 oxygen. And we're going to go ahead and roll to see what the seabed composition is. Okay, we rolled a 6, which is mud. Maybe that's not good. We might get stuck. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to just let the flooding increase. We're going to stay silent running. So flooding automatically increases +1 if you do no flood damage control. But we're not going to sink any farther because we're already on the seabed. Okay, and we're going to do silent running. So we skip. We're going to go ahead and go to table E9 for detection again. Okay, we rolled a 3. Maybe we lost detection. Hopefully we lost him. Okay, let's see. Silent running is a -3. We're on the seabed, so that's an extra -2 modifier. So always keep that in mind. Sitting on the seabed, you're even more quiet because the electric motors are not running for the propellers. So we got a -5, and then, all right, let's see. Okay, silent running, -3, 5, and we're at 4. So -9, and then -1 for command, 5 command, so -10. -9 because it's 1943. -3, yeah. Okay, we lost him. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. He lost contact. But we're in the mud. I don't know if we're going to be able to get out of this. Okay. We're going to go ahead and have to go back to... Okay, he's gone. But we still have to try to get out of the mud. Okay. We're going to go ahead and go to... we're going to lose 1 more oxygen. We're going to go ahead and go to... table E3 for ascending. That means to get off the seabed, to try to surface. We have a 50% base chance, but we have a -5 mud modifier, muddy seabed. So, and then we have, okay, we're going to go ahead and, yeah, we can't do, you have to go in the order of the tables. So the next combat round we can, or round or turn, there's no combat, we can do silent running. But you have to do E3 before you can do E4. Okay, you can't do this first. So we're going to have to try to ascend first, and then the next time, then we can start silent running. So that basically means that we're not silent running yet. Okay, so we have... how many flooding? 2, so we have a -2. So -7, we have a -2 for each, -1 for each flooding level. So -7 modifier. But we're gonna cut. You can compensate for +1 per compressed air unit used. So we're gonna be okay. We have a lot. We have full compressed air. So we have a -7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that means we broke free, and we're going to ascend to the depth level equal to the amount of compressed air units used. Okay, which means we pop to the surface. Okay, and that's it. Now, if we were down to like this, and we were down here on depth level 4 on the seabed, and we only had 3 left, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're dead. You have to have a minimum of 4. That's a minimum of 4 to surface if it's shallow, and then on the deep one it's even more. So you have to be very careful about compressed air. And okay, so we surfaced. We're no longer silent running. Now we're gonna just go ahead and say we did the flood control, because once you're surfaced, the flooding automatically clears. Okay, you only have to do flood damage control attempts if you're submerged. So okay, we're going to go ahead and reset this compressed air and oxygen. Okay, I think I'm going to end the game here. I'm in the video here, and I just wanted to give a basic demonstration of a patrol. This video's run longer than I was hoping, but the game's quite detailed, but it's fairly streamlined and pretty simple to use, and to play, and I tried to include a lot of player choices in the game, like depth levels and repairing medical supplies and things like that, and then make some difficult choices. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank you for watching, and I I'm hoping this game will be released on Wargame Vault within a few weeks. I'm not sure yet how long it's going to take. I still have to write the quick start guide and the counter guide. I haven't done that yet. And so I'm hoping within a few weeks, and then later on I'll probably be releasing the Pearl Harbor expansion. So the Fremantle base game will be released first. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.